Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. Hello, it's Emmy. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be making Spam fries. Yes, Spam, the infamous potted meat. Now I'm carrying the cans of 25% less sodium because after tasting many flavors, I'll put the link there if you missed that tasting, I found this one to be the most palatable because Spam is very salty. It is canned ham after all. Although many of you would argue that it is not ham at all, it is Spam, and you're right, it's Spam. Because Spam comes in a can, it is shelf stable, and it is a very handy way to have some meat on hand. So as a consequence to war, Spam has been brought to other cultures, including Hawaii, the Philippines, Guam, and it's now become part of the diet and part of some traditional recipes. So besides doing a Spam taste test, I've also made Spam musubi, and I also put that link down below in case you're interested. But today I'm going to be making Spam fries, as in matchstick deep fried pieces of Spam. So the first time I actually saw this type of breaded Spam fry, I saw it on Facebook, and Salt Bae shared it, you know, Salt Bae. And it was for a poke joint that serves this along with the poke. So when I saw this version, I said, well, that might actually taste good. So here I am to do a little dupe. So, like I've said, I've got the Spam, 25% less sodium. This is the one I prefer because the other ones I just find way too salty. I've also used Spam recently in my Burejjigae video. If you missed that, I'll also put the link down below. That is army-based stew, which has Spam and American cheese and sausages in this great cauldron of bubbling hot chili paste. It's delicious. All right, let's get back to Spam fries, shall we? First thing you need to do is get the Spam out of the can. Now, there is a kind of technique for it. So you lift this up, and there is our beautiful potted meat in a can. It smells like potted meat. It smells kind of porky, cooked, hammy, smoky, and it's a pretty tight fit. But if you look carefully, there is a slight taper to the can, so you can indeed get it out. So what you do is you give it a little shake and squeeze. See, squeeze it and shake it, and the meat will come out. Yeah, in one nice piece like that. In the Facebook video, there was a nice little contraption that they used to slice this very perfectly into little matchsticks. Because of the nature and texture of this meat, it likes to stick to the blade of a knife. So the gadget they used had these tightly drawn wires that cut through the meat. So today I'm going to use a little trick using some unflavored dental floss. This is a trick that my mom taught me to cut zhongji, which are those kind of Chinese sticky rice tamales, and they're wrapped in bamboo leaves and then are tied with string. But you can use that same piece of string to cut the tamale as well, or the Chinese tamale or the zhongji, which also has a similar very kind of dense texture to it, and it's really difficult to cut with a knife because it's so sticky. So that's where the dental floss comes in. This is a bit of an experiment. I've never made these Spam fries before, and I am curious to see how well this dental floss technique will work. So I'm going to use, this much. This is probably about 24 inches. So what my mom would do is she would take one piece of the dental floss and put it in her mouth, and then use the string and wrap it around the zhongji and then pull on it. In this case, I'm going to use the dental floss, kind of like I'm flossing my teeth, wrap it around my fingers and try to slice it this way. It should give me a nice clean cut. This is also how you cut slabs of clay, you ceramicists out there. All right, boom. Now on this side it wasn't as straight as I would like it. It works pretty well. It's hard to keep the tension though, that's for sure. And then once you get to the bottom, it's tricky. So it kind of works. Just gotta finish it with the knife. So yeah, it's not very straight. So dental floss works, but not that well. So let's just use our knife, shall we? And I'm making about 1/4 inch slices here. So that's gonna be a dud because my dental floss didn't cut it straight. But at least I know, right? Okay. Yeah, just use a knife. So I'm going to now take these slices and stack these up. I'm making these very skinny because again, Spam is very salty. Here I've got some flour, and now I'm going to dredge my Spam pieces carefully in the flour. And this will help the egg wash adhere. Now we want to be gentle here. We don't want to break the Spam sticks. So now while they're getting friendly in the flour, crack an egg, beat that up, and I'm going to pepper that. No need for any salt, just pepper. And in this dish, I'm going to put my panko, my breadcrumbs, shake some of the excess flour off, and place our sticks in there. Okay, coat them in the egg wash, and then into the breadcrumbs. I guess it's just a matter of just getting your hands dirty, isn't it? I think if you're, a pro, you would do this egg wash part with one hand, and then you would roll them in the breadcrumbs with your other hand, if you had some forethought and some experience, which I clearly don't. So, now that I'm looking at this, the scale of my panko breadcrumbs are a bit big, so I'm going to combine it with a little bit of regular breadcrumbs as well. Maybe half and half. Because I really want these to be nicely coated, but I want them to be completely coated. So I've seen other recipes for Spam fries, but they just require the Spam to be deep fried naked with no crunchy coating. So when I saw it had a coating on it, I said, that's for me. That's for me. Not only for the texture, but for the salt absorption. Yes. Swab the decks clean. La 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 la. Get everything out of the way because it makes me feel better. Got myself a baking tray with a rack and a piece of paper towel, and that's where I'm going to drain these sticks. So my oil is about 350. I'm going to go ahead and place my fries. Here we go. Yes, nice sizzle. Just going to put a few in. I don't want this to be too crowded. Otherwise the oil temperature is going to drop too much. Fry, baby, fry. Look at that. Gorgeous. Drain that there. The Spam is already cooked, so we don't have to worry about the inside being underdone. So the key for deep fat frying is make sure your oil's at the right temperature. Too cold, your food will take longer to cook and it will be much greasier because it will suck up more oil. Also, when dropping things in hot oil, you want to place things kind of away from you. So if it spatters away from you. It's also a good idea to make sure whatever you're putting in your oil is dry. If it's wet, disaster. Recipe for disaster. Water and hot oil do not mix. It's a good way to give yourself a very bad burn. It's already coming to a golden brown. These are gorgeous. I love this tool, by the way. It's called a spider. I picked it up at my Asian market. It's really great for making dumplings, pasta, deep frying. Love it. I believe it was my Frybread recipe. Someone asked in the comments section, what do you do with the leftover oil? So depending on what you fry, you can definitely reuse the oil. Allow it to cool, strain it, and you can use it again. If you've cooked something that has a lot of flavor, say like fish or something, you may not want to use it again to fry something light like fry bread, because it will impart some of that fishy flavor into the fry bread, or something sweet, for example. So if you have some cooking oil that you've used to make fried chicken, you probably don't want to use that same cooking oil to make donuts, unless you want fried chicken donuts. In that case, you're set. So you can use your cooking oil a couple times, and after that it's pretty spent. And then what I do is, once it's cooled, we bottle it up and we take it to our recycling center and recycle it. It's always good to have a lid on hand when you're dealing with lots of hot fat. So if you have a fire, you can squanch it with the lid. I'm going to move this out of the way. Squanch it. Have you heard of that word before? I haven't. Those are gorgeous. Oh, yes. I've washed and dried my can out, and I'm going to use a little bit of wax paper to make a little nest for them. I'm going to put the fries in there, like that. Crunchy, crunchy, hotty, hotty. Yes, baby. here are my Spam fries, super stinking cute in the can. They're still warm and toasty. Love how these turned out. Can't wait to taste them. Let's taste one plain first before I have any accompaniments. Oh, and it looks gorgeous. Crunchy coating, light. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Delicious. It's like a processed meat ham version of ebi fry. Ebi fry is breaded shrimp that you can find in Japan. It's kind of like tempura, but tempura is battered. It's in a wet batter and fried. And ebi fry is a dry panko breadcrumb coating fry. So that's what this is like. But it's delicious. It's a lot like mozzarella sticks. It has that great crunchy coating on the outside. This is a little bit crunchier than the mozzarella sticks because we use some of that panko, but mixed with the regular breadcrumbs. It's very reminiscent of that. The Spam inside is nice and juicy and tender. It's just a little bit salty. But the breading does kind of cut down the salt a bit. Because this is so salty, I think this would go really well with a sweet dipping sauce, maybe like a honey mustard or something like that. I'm going to try some okonomiyaki sauce, aka Tonkatsu sauce, which is often served with breaded pork cutlets, which is called Tonkatsu in Japan. So I'm going to try some of that. That has some 5 spice in it. It's sweet. Every toddler's favorite, ketchup. I'm gonna put that there too. I'm gonna try a little mayo. This is Kewpie mayo. I am almost out. And squirt some of that on there. French fries in Belgium is always served with mayo. And then I'm gonna have a little bit of my favorite sauce, Sriracha. Number 1, let's try Tonkatsu. Great combination. Very reminiscent of Tonkatsu, which has this panko breading as well. This is more smoky and salty, of course, because it's Spam, but very reminiscent flavor combination in kind of a new form. Great. Still very salty, but we're just gonna have a few sticks, right? All right, let's try the ketchup. My ketchup, I should have shaken my ketchup. Look, it separates when it has like ketchup blood like that. Not so into that. All right, let's give that a go. That combination is really great as well. Again, it triggers those little memories in your mind of like mozzarella sticks, ketchup, bar food, crunchy, deep fried. The delivery mechanism in terms of the stick is very pleasurable too, in terms of the dipping and crunching and eating way too much. Yes. I'm not a huge fan of Spam, but Spam fries, I'm liking it. Yes. All right, now let's try it with some mayo. You mayo-phobic people, don't look. Now that kind of pushes us towards tartar sauce and fish sandwich. Not to me as successful as the first 2 dipping sauces, but isn't that interesting? That flavor deep fried combination with the mayo reminds me of filet of fish, but that's not what I'm having. To me, it does not work as well as the other 2. There's not enough sweetness and kind of variety to hold up to the Spam fry. It's okay. Let's try the Sriracha. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Smoky, garlicky, a little bit of fire. Delicious. Let's mix those 2 together. We have a spicy mayo now. That also is very good. That kind of enriches it. Mixing the 2 together enriches the sauce and doesn't make it as spicy. I actually think I like the straight up Sriracha better, but if you're into spicy mayos, yeah. Of the 3 sauces, I don't know, they're all successful, but I think I'm favoring the ketchup and the Tonkatsu. It's more kind of a relatable flavor combination to me with this breaded meat stick. I've now consumed 4 sticks of Spam without even knowing it because they're covered in a crunchy, delicious coating and served with delectable sauces. So if you want to consume more Spam, this is how to do it. Now, if Winston's around, we gotta shake him off. Speaking of Winston, if you haven't picked up your official Winston t-shirt, you'll find the link down below. Do so shortly because it's only running for a limited time only. Show your love for the crumb. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. If you make this recipe, please share it with me on social media so I can see your lovely results or disasters. I want to see them all. And yeah, share this video with your friends, follow me on social media, and I shall see you in my next video. Toodaloo, take care, bye!